Right, Snapdragon. We've got ourselves a 3v3 replay cast here on Highway to Seoul. This is the 3v3 variant of the map. And we've got my boy Delta, somewhere in here. Got my boy Flodo, hashtag unbanned Flodo. And I'm not sure who this could be. This could be Faust, but I'm not entirely sure. And I'm not too sure who they're playing against, just some randoms. And I haven't watched this game. This is a live cast, if you like, or whatever. There you go, Faust. No, that's Flodo. Maybe it's not even Flodo. Don't even know. Whatever, let's just fucking fast forward. And I'm not too sure what decks, but if this is Delta, yep, this is going to be his Commonwealth General. In here, this is going to be, if it is indeed Faust playing, it's going to be his mixed motor deck, and whoever the other third person is, looks like a Commonwealth General as well. And just quickly on the other side, this is Eastern Bloc with Lance. We have a USSR with General Mitten. He's going ahead with a fuckload of helicopters. And who's the third person? Caveman has also got a USSR deck. Yeah, they all look pretty general spec. Okay, yeah, whatever, they're just putting a fuckload of spots out. I don't do too many 3v3 sort of casts, so I'm probably going to miss a lot. Although this Heli Rush is just, I don't care what people say, this is Heli Rush. This is all your units are helicopters, dude. So I guess right now the emphasis will be on AA. Hopefully get that CV down. SAS doing a little bit of work. Let's get back. Wolverine's still moving. It's got stabilizers, but it's still pretty shit ass. And the rocket pods will do some work here. We do have a track rapier coming in. And there's lots of AA now being rallied out. This is pretty standard mid sort of stuff. Heavy tank, usually one heavy tank, and then the rest is infantry. But as you can see here, Flodo or Faust or whoever the fuck it is has really got the unit weight, I suppose, behind it compared to this side. And here, look, this is heavy tank call out, and this could actually be armored. Though no, it won't be because LSTR is not armored. But he's got heavy tanks in his deck. Moderna, M1 Wilk. Maybe he doesn't have the M2 Wilk, which is strange. It looks like this helicopter push has been sort of pulled out, although the Scornos are in and really have a good line of sight at the 1500 range. It's kind of got to lock down this road, and actually this road, if something's not done about it really quickly. As you saw, a Wolverine and as well as a Flak Panzer got taken out there. So they need to be cleaned up pretty quickly. As actually 2 more 24Ds have come in. Hornet will probably take it out. I'm not too sure, maybe it was the Celtic missiles there at the same time. Got some mortars coming in. The Storm is here, backed up by the Leopards will deal with those. Sorry, this fucking audio is loud as fuck. Not sure how that's changed. The Gornos will be wiped out, and these Leopards should be able to deal with the 72. Zero tick at the moment for both teams. But as we can see, there's plenty of zones that can be CV'd up. Challenger Mark III should be able to deal with these Gornos. although the cornos are going to get a shot on there. Because our cannon should wipe them out and deal with them. 24Ds, it's a lot. And there's red really has no recon here. So I'm not too sure what he's saying. He's not saying anything really. Just what the Gornos would be seeing on the open field. And still no recon being rallied out, which is kind of weird. No recon in the middle. Really, these two Kaminskis are really the only frontline recons that they have. And the rest are just relying on their own unit's optics, which is kind of strange. You don't see it a whole lot. But they are at a +2 right now, taking that middle zone. But that's going to be quickly taken out once this Rover CP comes into Bravo. Puff coming in, most likely to go for that Tunguska, but it looks like it actually got taken out. Possibly by the mortars? I'm not too sure, I didn't see that one. Plenty of heavy tanks here, but it looks like the Milans have been keeping them at bay. And I guess if Rain here, whoever it is, fucking Faust, Flodo, whoever the fuck, if they can come in the side and take this forest, then it's they're in a really good position. What I'd personally do is if I was Delta here and I'd copped all those helicopters, I'd be putting either recon out here or even another AA unit, just because I wouldn't trust this guy. I would be expecting another fucking helo push or some dumb shit. Floater here hasn't quite taken out the Gornos, but he's obviously micro intensive elsewhere. What do we got? I guess Floto's calling for a bit of a push up. As here we go, some SNES because they're finally being rallied out. Any CVs coming in? Not quite. Just supplies. Challenger 2. Probably to deal with these 72As. This town's pretty chock-a-block. And he's got some decent AA around as well. CV's coming in. It's a bit of a difficult zone to put a CV in, just because there's not a whole lot of cover. That, and he's probably he's occupied most of the town anyway. Faust is looking a little bit thin here, but being a motor deck, reinforcements won't take that long to get there. And he's got a wealth of infantry in that deck to use. I guess they're kind of lucky at the moment that Lancia hasn't pushed. He's got quite the heavy tanks available. And I guess they're just probing with this transport. They are trying to take this town, which I think is a really good move, and Hachi actually getting in behind. They'll probably go for a try and grab a CV or something. But they're at a -2. Well, these guys are at a positive. These guys are at a negative. But they do have zones to cap. I mean, they could cap this one and even the tick, and then cap this one. That will put themselves at a +1. Gorno's still not spotted. They're still trying to kill these Gornos, yeah. Got a BRDM3, finally some recon. Excuse me. And I guess if the Challenger 1 and the Challenger 2 can wipe out these Gornos, the 72s, then there's not much really behind it at all. I'm just trying to work out if they're doubling up somewhere. The other, no. You see, I'm not too sure. Like, this Lance guy's got quite a big number of units compared to Caveman and especially Mitten here. I haven't seen any USSR or Eastern Bloc air either, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. He's got some MI8s coming in. They've probably got VDV in them. Flak Panzer's not going to get line of sight. Really good fire support with the links. Here's the Moto spam, of course. And they're kind of trying to push in now. Challenger 2 firing. I think it's actually aiming at the SNES car. Nope, at 72, which puts it down to only 4 HP. One more shot should kill it. Oh, okay. Not quite. Maybe it's not close enough. I think that added 1 HP, but there you go. Got the kill then. Got a Hornet out to back it up. Plenty of V2V sneaking in here now. It's looking pretty thin. Is that Challenger 2? Challenger 2 going through the town. A little bit risky. There's a flare on the right. This BRDM's, I mean, this is good recon cover. And it's covered with a Milan as well. Just need to clear out those Motschützen and they're almost in. So they've counter-capped the center here. And one thing to be careful with in this area, this zone delta, is as a blue team, as you rally out units, they will tend to come across this road. And if the enemy, I mean, it's okay now because the blue has the majority of echo, but usually there's stuff for red, and they get chopped off before they actually make it to the zone. So that's just something to think about if that's where you're fighting. So usually if this is, say, on the 1v1 map, I'd call them out to this area. And I hope my cursor's being recorded. Call them out to this area and then just move them in so they come in from Charlie. Back to a +0. Be a good time for Delta to be aggressive. I mean, he obviously doesn't know that he can be, but yeah, Floto and here comes F111T to deal with those motos. That's a good option. That should deal with most of them. Okay, dealt with all of them. Beauty. And then just in time for, these are probably Stormers. I'm not sure if they're going across or what. Maybe these Canadian rifles will be going in. Not entirely sure. Looks like they're going across. Okay. Yeah, the one thing that the Moto deck can't deal with very well is heavies. And I mean, they've got the T80U down to really low. So you got to rely on air, which just in nick of time. Here comes the Hornet. It's actually going to go for the BTR. It must have lost sight on the T80U, which is a shame. Yeah, there you go. Nice work with the recon there. And it might be, where's that zone? Yeah, so it might be a good idea to start doubling up with somebody else. This looks pretty secure in my opinion. Whereas, yeah, I guess, I mean, obviously it's easy for me to say watching the game and saying every unit. But if the Challenger 2s here can do some work with these tanks, then it shouldn't be too hard to get further into India. And as long as you're keeping them busy in the middle and I guess on the left flank, this should work if you just overwhelm him. I think a Wilk just went down there. Challenger 2s are being nice and aggressive. They're probably going to get a Sarge. He's reversed it. Might get a front shot here on the 72. Moderna. There you go, 72 down. Very nice, and they're going to push him out here. He's got motos and Motschützen in MTBs, MTLBVs, or what the fuck they're called. Faust has done a really good job of getting a foothold in this forest. Bring in some Fusiliers in, really good launcher, really high AP. I really like that unit for AT. Canadian Rifles most definitely should wipe out those specialties. They've spotted that T80U. Hornet will actually get side shots here. Yep, awesome. One shot, bang. Really nice. Escorted with a Puff and a Hornet in behind. That's really good use of the air. If you want to see how to use air, that's a really good example. You have anti-radar cover and you have anti-air cover. And they just got lucky that the T80U was facing the side. So that sort of turned this whole center zone, in my opinion, where it looked pretty thin on blue's side. It now looks pretty thin on red side. Link's killing that. Was it moto off, but actually being miss micro. Oh, not miss micro. It just didn't land in time. And maybe they wanted that kill earlier. Tunguska. That looks like that was microed well. SU-27M coming in, getting a double kill. I think that was a Hornet. Not sure what it killed here, but that 27M did absolute work, but it actually goes down to track rapier, I believe. Kahu comes in, gets a kill on the 72. Never's doing work. Kahu goes down. Damn, that's a lot of air just being lost there. 72M's not replaceable. I think you get a second Kahu if you upvet it. I think I could be wrong. You might even get more. I'm not too sure. Delta's done a good job here, pushing out a little bit further. He's got plenty of recon, covering most sides, as well as the Gazelle cannon there. And really, Mitten doesn't have a whole lot of heavy stuff. Plenty of 72As, but he doesn't have the heavy stuff. This Leopard coming in, it's going to get a kill on this command if they don't wake up. T80U can't help because it's out of fucking fuel and it's only on 2 HP. Hornet comes in, it's going to get a kill on the PU. No, PU gets, the Hornet goes down to the Tunguska. And I think the Hornet made it out. I didn't quite see that. But the CV's gone down, which gives Delta's team a +2 tick. And Red's having a really hard time getting back into this forest. I think as blue, I think this is the forest you should be aiming for. It's really, really quite difficult, especially if you can get tanks in the back. If you get infantry in this front forest, tanks in the back, then as soon as tanks sort of expose themselves, they're in range. It's really quite difficult to get back in this town, and you've got plenty of spaces for fire support. Crowchild getting the kill on the 24P. Not quite. One more shot. There you go. Another challenger. Is that a second? Is that a third challenger? Two. It is. Fucking hell, Eugen. 3 challenger. That makes 4 on the field, I believe. Yep. So there's 3 for Rain, and there's 1 for Delta, and Delta still has 2 more availability to pull out. So it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So it looks like Flodo or Faust or whoever the fuck it is slowly encircling this remaining force. Caveman's pulled out a CV, but it's a little bit premature, I reckon. Surely there should be some communication there. Actually, it's his own stuff. I mean, he should know that he's being taken over. More Canadian Rifles come out. It's probably one of the reasons why Commonwealth is sort of in the meta now. It's because of these Canadian Rifles in the TH495s. I mean, availability is just so high, and the transport fire support is just so good. It's the same with Eastern Bloc and Mutschützen in the BMPs. It's ridiculous. General Mitten's calling for an attack, but I mean, I don't see where his units are. Like I don't know if he's doubling, if he started doubling up here. It looks like. Yep. But I mean, he doesn't even have that many units. I'm not sure what deck he's got. I mean, it's a bit weird. He's got a T80U. No, that was the other guy. That was Caveman. He's going to walk a CV straight into some Stormers. I'm not sure. It could be even an airborne deck. I don't think you get a 72 in airborne. Caveman's actually moving a CV, which is... Yeah, I'm not too sure why. BMP3s. See, if you're going to do USSR, you really need V2Vs and like a BTRD or something. I'm not sure what's going on here. This might be going through the forest or something. As Delta maybe gears up for a bit of a push. I mean, he could... Oh, there you go. There's one of them surrenders already. And look at this. Well, like, how can you have so many points floating that you can buy 2 Modernas? Yeah, that's not what you want. You shouldn't have... I mean, what's the Moderna? 170? 160. You shouldn't have 320 points just floating. Especially when you could have been using it to chuck infantry all over the place. And there's a second guy. GR7's coming in. And that looks like it's going to be game. So they just got, whoever these guys are, just got completely fucking destroyed. Yeah, there's not much else to say. These guys played really well. They killed it in that middle section with the 3 Chellies. I mean, they probably didn't even get used that much, to be honest, but that infantry and the Canadian rifles, and they almost lost it with that heli rush at the start, but they clawed their way out of it. And I mean, I think Red Team was really banking on that working, which it didn't. So yeah, let that be a bit of a lesson. Don't heli rush. Don't be a faggot. You can fuck off with your heli rushes. But yeah, GG. If you liked it, like it. If you don't, fuck off. I'm kidding. But seriously, fuck off.